are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so very much for being here. Everyone tuned in at this time. We really do appreciate it. Anybody that is tuned in and watching this on the replay, again, really appreciate you. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. What is going on, Jake? How are you?
I'm good. Good. Busy.
Good.
A very productive day. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Likewise, it's always it's always like that rush. Okay, we got the live stream. Let's do it. But hey, it's beautiful. We're here. We're here with all you wonderful people. We appreciate you. Um, so let's dive right into it because we got quite a bit to cover in an hour. So LeBron James, right? LeBron James is out for the foreseeable future. That's always rough, right? We really could use LeBron James. Although so far we're weathering the storm. I think our schedule, one, is very favorable for us. Two, Anthony Davis is playing like we need him to play. D'Lo should hopefully be coming back. We'll talk about D'Lo here in a little bit. And we just got to grind. LeBron James was originally reported 3 weeks, and then he would be reevaluated. Very likely, my guess is we see him around the Bulls games, around like the 26th to the 29th. That is probably the best case scenario. But we did get an update today that LeBron James is currently starting his rehab, which is good. Rehab for his foot. If things go well, maybe it could come sooner. But my whole thing is I don't want them to rush to get him back, right? Although if we need him, it's one of those things. But I would rather, I'd rather go the route of like, hey, I'd rather him just not play than him have to rush. And now he's out for say a year, and now next year is lost too. I'd rather we got this team for.
And at that point, he might not come back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, seriously. But I mean, not only do we have him this year, but we have him for the next 2 years, which we have this new roster, this new team. And I would love to see this team. What does this team look like with a full offseason, a full training camp, a full preseason, and then a full season? I think that this team could really make some noise and cause some damage, right? But we need LeBron, right? And that's the whole thing. So hopefully the rehab kind of picks up, puts him in a good position. There's no setbacks or anything like that. He is a guy that spends, $1 million, $2 million on his body every year. So he takes care of himself. He's that guy that if anyone can come back in a reasonable time, it's him. I don't have doubts about that. But I mean, this is an injury that has been bothering him all season. And best case scenario is we were able to weather the storm. We're able to ride it out. We are in a playoff or play-in position, and LeBron comes back and he's healthy and ready to go, right? I mean, him getting 3-4 weeks, yes, he's going to be rehabbing a foot injury, but the rest of his body, his back, his legs, his knees, his other foot, everything is getting rest right now, and everything is allowing him to kind of get healthy. I think that is very valuable in itself. But what do you think? What do you think about the whole LeBron situation? What is your hopes in that scenario?
Hopefully he comes back. Obviously, like as soon as possible. But definitely, like if we get into the playoffs, we're definitely going to need him back. My thing is, I don't know. I just have this strange feeling that like if they're not careful with this, it could end up being like, like a really, really bad injury, like the Achilles, like Kobe's Achilles or something like that. Like something crazy where you just, well, you know what I mean? Like really, like it's something that you don't really come back from, you know what I mean? That you, or at least that you can't come back fully, and then you're just not the same player, then it forces him into like an early retirement, so because as it is right now, he maybe has 3 to 5 more years in the league, and I'm not trying to put like a limit on him, but let's face it, that's facts are facts. I think, the reality of the situation is we got LeBron in the NBA for maybe 3 to 5 more years. So worst case scenario, this goes bad. He sits out for a year, maybe year and a half, comes back, but it's not the same LeBron. But then best case scenario, he comes back and he's fine. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I think that, that's rough because it's like you said, you don't want to rush it, but at the same time, we need him. We really do. Like, I just, it's gonna be a tough get into the playoffs without him. Do I think we can do it? Yeah, but do I think we will do it, that's a different question. I'm not gonna say no to that because it's a coin toss right now. You know what I mean? It just depends on D'Lo. Really, it depends on D'Lo.
Yeah,
Depends on
yeah,
because he's such a big factor of this whole equation. So
yeah. I think realistically, I think with LeBron's injury, I think the 6th seed. Not that we can't get it, we can. I mean, we're only like 2.5 games, something like that, out of the 6th seed. But it's just going to be really hard without LeBron. I think if we had LeBron this whole time, one, I don't know if we would have lost a game yet outside of that Portland game. We might not, because I think we beat Memphis with LeBron. I think we would have beat Minnesota with LeBron. I think we beat both of those guys with just D'Lo back. Imagine if we had LeBron. But I think going forward, we definitely would win enough games, I think, to get into that 6th seed, especially with some of these other teams that are ahead of us. They just have really tough schedules. But in general, I think that we can. I think without LeBron, we could still get that 7th to 8th seed, which I'm okay with. Now, obviously, I don't want to be in the play-in. That sucks. But if we're in the 7th to 8th seed, you only got to win one game. You have 2 chances to win one game, and then you're in. I think we can easily win one of those games. I don't think we lose 2 straight, especially with this roster, especially with a healthy LeBron, especially with AD playing the way he's playing. So I think that would be huge. I think we get the win, we get into the playoffs. Problem is if we end up in that 9 to 10 spot, that's when things get really tough. Because not that we can't win 2 straight games, it's so hard, because you don't have to be the best team. You only have to be the best team that one game. So say we play the Pelicans, right? And the Pelicans, let's say they just shoot the lights out like Portland did. Nothing you can do about it. Now in a 7-game series, you could brush that off and okay, it was just a bad game. They shot the lights out. They're not going to do that again the rest of the series, and you can go win the rest of the matchup. But problem is that one game, you only have to be the best team one game. So that's where things become very challenging, very difficult. Now, also, if we did win, like let's say we are the 9th seed, we end up making the playoffs. You just played 2 grueling games, very likely. And now you have to go with like no rest at all. You got like a day, I think, in between. With no rest, you immediately got to go play a 7-game series against Denver. Now, I do think we could beat Denver in a 7-game series. I do like our matchup against Denver in a 7-game series. But after playing 2 extra games that are just grueling, tough, and exhausting, to go play Denver, who is fresh, rested, and ready.
And it depends on who we play in those 2 games, too. Because, whoever, honestly, either way you chop it up, whoever it lands on, it's like.
Well, I mean, look at it right now. Right now, we would probably, most likely, we would play like the Pelicans.
That's what I'm saying.
Which I think we could beat the Pelicans. And then after that, we'd play either the Clippers or the Mavericks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Either way,
we haven't beaten the Clippers in 3 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Either way, one of the games are going to be tough. There's you know what I mean? We're not going to get into
those games are probably going to be tough.
Yeah, Pelicans. I do agree it's a tough game, but it's more so a tough game without LeBron. With LeBron, I think we'll be okay. Yeah. And honestly, since one of those matches are going to be tough either way. Yeah, when you put those 2 in combination, when you get to the first round, that would suck to have to play Denver. Yeah. And potentially go a 7-game series in the first round if you're facing a Denver, because I feel like those 2 teams are equally matched. I feel like we could go 7-game series on that one. I don't know if we're going to, but I feel like that is more than likely a 7-game series.
I think if we play Denver,
and then you're tired going into the second round, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. But I think if we play Denver in any series but the 1st seed, I think we could beat Denver. First round makes it tough because I'm not saying that we can't, but you're going to have a lot of factors. You have one, you're going to have the inexperience of guys. You're going to have the jitters and the nerves and all that stuff. And then you're just going to have the working out, the grind, right? Because this is a new team that just got put together. It's just really tough. Where if we played the Grizzlies or we played like the Kings in the first round, I think we could beat them because I just think LeBron James and Anthony Davis alone are enough. Assuming other guys just step up.
Well, yeah, they have the experience. They're the veterans. They can kind of carry the team. Right now, we don't have a huge amount of playoff experience on our team right now. We have some guys, but we don't have, it's not like, Golden State, where like the overall majority is just like we got championship DNA. You know what I mean? It's just not, it's not like that. So
Absolutely.
I would love to see a Grizzlies in the first round. I would love to see that.
I would love to see that. I honestly, like, if we're healthy, like in a perfect world, I would love to, because I do think we can beat anybody. I would love like I don't know. I would love like let's assume we get into the playoffs, right? I would love like a Warriors, which unfortunately they're not going to do. I would love like a Warriors Suns Denver matchup, or like Clippers Warriors Denver matchup. Because if we win and we beat all those teams, what can anybody say? Because that's the thing. We beat if that ends up happening, we beat the defending champions. We beat the team that just has our number the last 3 years, and we beat the number one team in the league, or in the West, number 2 overall in the league. Like, what else do you say? And then if we played Milwaukee and we beat Milwaukee, what do you say? We beat the best team in the league, the second best team in the league. We beat the Clippers, who everyone thinks is that. Like, and then the only other like, I guess, matchup
Celtics
that would be like the Suns
in the finals.
Maybe the Suns over like the Clippers, because I could see people being like, the Clippers are trash, blah blah blah. But if like, so maybe like Warriors, Suns, Nuggets, and then the Bucks. Again, what are you gonna say? There is nothing you could say that because if we, like, let's say we play the Kings in the first round.
I would rather see the Celtics versus the Bucks. I feel like that would be a scrap. Like, I feel like, yeah. And the thing is, here we'll get one for the ages again. We get the classic Celtics and Lakers matchup.
I mean, this is a Laker channel, but I want to touch on this real quick. We might actually see a Warriors Suns first round matchup. Bro, that will be one of the greatest first round matchups ever. Like the Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Ayton, and Chris Paul versus Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins. Oh my!
Listen.
I want that so bad. As a basketball fan, I want that so badly. That I want to see that matchup so badly.
That's rough. That is rough. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like,
that would be amazing.
Like, I don't. Yeah, I will never. If it's LA and someone else, I will never bet against LA. So I don't know. I know where my mind would be on that one, but the way that they've been playing lately, I don't know.
I just like, at the end of the day, look, we just need to get in where we can get in. Look, if we win, we win. I don't care who we play. Run through them. My only thing is, like, I want the toughest matchup, because problem is, if we play the Kings, we'll probably beat the Kings. Everyone's gonna be like, it's the Kings, blah 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 blah, right? Kings aren't ready for that. And then we play like the Grizzlies or whatever. People are gonna be like, oh, well, the Grizzlies have been a mess this year.
People can write it off too,
yeah. Yeah, Ja's been suspended all season. The team is falling apart. Blah 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 blah. And then say we play Denver, beat Denver. They're gonna be like, well, Denver had a tougher.
Denver, they can't say anything on
road. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. Like,
there's no excuses for Denver.
But people are always gonna find excuses. But, like, I mean, regardless, like I said, at the end of the day, I would love to see just us get in. We got to get in. That's the first step. Got to play a game at a time. My biggest concern is LeBron rushes back, right? I would rather, as much as it would hurt and as much as it would suck, I would rather write off this season and, go fresh next season than LeBron come back, rush back, and now he's hurt. And again, he has to go get surgery or something like that, and now he's out for 6 months. That means we're going to miss him like half of the season next year. I'd rather this season he just doesn't come back. We try to get to where we can. If we make the playoffs, he comes back for the playoffs. Great. Now he's fresh, healthy, ready to go.
Yeah.
Again, my hope is Lakers by like that Chicago matchup, maybe that Minnesota matchup. My hope is that the Lakers are at least in that like 7, 8, 9 area. Because I think that's going to be decided by like a game, half a game or whatever. So like, even if the Lakers are in 9th, but they're like a game out of 7th or 8th, then I think LeBron will look at that and go, okay, like we got like 7, 8 more games left. I'm going to come back. We'll go on like a 6-game win streak, and we're in the 7th or 8th seed. Maybe we even squeeze into the 6th seed. That's my hope. Comes back when he can. In a perfect world, we'll see something where it's like, we get to the 6th seed, or we're like a game out of the 6th seed, and LeBron can come back those last like 2 or 3 games of the season just to kind of get his legs under him and get ready for the playoffs. And boom, now we're in the playoffs. Now you got a rested, ready to LeBron. That could be absolutely huge. But again, I would rather just say, hey, let's sit LeBron the rest of the season than him trying to expedite him coming back. Because look, I think we make the play-in regardless. Like, Portland has an insane, grueling schedule coming up. They might lose their next like 6-7 games right now. So I'm not really worried about Portland catching up to us. Plus, I believe right now we have the tiebreaker. Granted, we haven't finished playing. We still have to play the Clippers and the Suns 2 games. So because if we finish with the same record, it goes to, because we split their series 2-2, it goes to division wins. And right now, the Kings have more losses, but Lakers also haven't played all the games. So we still have more games. But I'm not really worried about them. Utah has a tough schedule going up, and we play them twice towards the end of the year. So I don't see a scenario personally, knock on wood, where like I would be shocked if we don't at least get into that 10th seed, which means we'd be in the play-in. But I don't know. If you get into the 10th seed, I almost feel like just sit LeBron, don't bring him back. Like if we end up, because I mean, honestly, like if we, like, let's say we're in the 10th seed, like, yes, we could bring LeBron back and maybe win those 2 games, but like, why are you going to have LeBron and AD kill themselves just to try to get in the playoffs, to play the Nuggets in the first round? Like, just let LeBron rest. Now, if we look at it like this, let's say we are the 10th seed, you let LeBron rest. Let's say we win those 2 games. Now you have a LeBron that is definitely extra healthy, and now you're going to that Denver matchup, and now LeBron can go be LeBron, and maybe then you can win that series. But if we're not in like at least that 7th to 8th spot, I wouldn't rush LeBron back. If we're 4 games out of 500 by the time LeBron's ready to come back, LeBron might as well just sit. Because again, why risk it? Why go?
You're saying sit for the remainder of the season, or sit until
just finish the season. Just stay at home, rest up. Let's get ready for the next season. But if we end up winning, because again, even without LeBron, even if LeBron doesn't play another game the rest of the season, I still think we get the 10th seed. And if we get the 10th seed, then again, I would probably just rest LeBron. I probably would, as much as it would pain me. I just think, you'd have an entire.
But you're saying rest LeBron if like,
if we make the playoffs, like let's say we play
the
Pelicans. Let's say we play the Pelicans, we beat the Pelicans. Let's say we play the Mavs, right? And we beat the Mavs without LeBron, and now we're the 8th seed, getting ready to go for the playoffs. Then LeBron, come back, let's go.
Yeah, okay. We made the playoffs. I was just making sure. I was like, oh no.
I just don't want LeBron to kill himself trying to get us into the playoffs, to then go in a first round matchup and he's exhausted or hurt or whatever, and now we got to go play Denver, and Denver just runs through us, right? Because AD's hurt, LeBron's hurt, everybody's just beat up. But if
is it more so the roster for you? Like, if we had Kyrie on the team, would you say the same? Like, I just wondering, like, okay, like,
if we were the 10th seed, I would say the same thing regardless.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter who we have.
It's nothing to do.
Like, if you thought like this might be LeBron's like last chance, like this might be it. Like, because, you know what I mean?
Because
or like, even outside of LeBron, the Lakers, this might be the Lakers, like obviously not last chance, but last chance in a while to actually really compete.
With LeBron. Because the thing is that, again, like the 9th and 10th seed, you have to win 2 straight games just to get into the playoffs. And you don't have,
and you're fighting teams that are hungry to get into the playoffs as well. So it's not
you're fighting
matchup.
Teams that are trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have 2 just insanely grueling games. And even if you get out of that, now your consolation, your prize for making the playoffs is now you got to go play Denver in the first round. And now you have LeBron that's just
and you're tired, not to mention like Denver's rested up.
Because
now sometimes that plays against them because they're rested up. Denver that might play against because if they're rested up too much, they might be a little.
I mean, maybe you can make the argument that they're.
Well, rusty, that happens at times. Again,
Okay, so let's say we do win game one. So we win, they instead of sweeping us, they beat us in 5 or 6. Like my thing is like if you let LeBron rest, right, and we do get through those 2 games, now LeBron is fresh and ready to go. And he's coming in. And not
with a
just that, but
tired squad. Yeah,
now this team already feels like we have a shot. And now you add LeBron James. That's just going to take the confidence from like here. Like we make the playoffs, boom, confidence went like that. Oh, LeBron's back? Let's go. And that's just going to shoot this team through the roof. And now you're going to have this belief that you can win because LeBron came back. Yeah, we're playing the number 1 team, but LeBron, he's just had 2 months to rest up and he's ready to go. Right? Because the problem is you have those things. You don't have any rest in between your matchup against Denver. And we saw that last year. We saw the teams that ended up jumping, getting the playoffs. They were so beat and exhausted, and they were young teams, and they just didn't have it, and they just kind of got ran through because they just couldn't keep that up. And
I mean, we had injuries too, but even us, getting like fighting out of that play in, making the playoffs, playing the Suns, losing. So like, I just felt like it kind of just, I don't know. I feel like it played against us a little bit.
Yeah, well, absolutely, and I mean not just that, but like, if I'm being honest, if I'm being honest, I think LeBron comes back regardless because I think LeBron's going to want to try to make that push. But my whole thing is that like I don't want to jeopardize the future just to maybe win now, right? I think this team is good enough for the foreseeable future, right? We have 2 more years with this roster bare minimum before LeBron leaves and then whatever happens with Anthony Davis. So my whole thing is like if it doesn't work out this year, fine. Swallow that pill. You got a full offseason, a full training camp, and a full preseason to now let's go and go get a run. This team is a playoff. If we started with this team, we'd probably be the 3 or 4 seed this year, right? So we'll probably be, the 3 to 5 seed next year, even with AD missing probably 20 plus games next year, even with LeBron probably missing 20 plus games next year, we'll probably be a locked playoff team. And then now you're actually in a real position to where maybe you can contend next year. That's kind of my thinking in that regard. Now, obviously, I want them to fight, right?
Yeah.
And I hope it doesn't even come to that, right? Again, this is all just hypothetical. My hope is that we just continue winning. We beat Memphis. We have out of our next like 10 games, we have like 8 of them at home. You gotta hold home court, win those games, even if win those 8 games or whatever, 7 games, whatever it is left, win those games and you're fine. Now you're 4 or 5 games over 500. And now all you have to do is weather the storm. They're only going to need to if you get to like 43 wins, then you're probably the 6th seed. I don't see the 6th seed winning more than like 43 games. If 41 wins, probably, which puts you at 500, 41 wins is probably going to be the 7th or 8th seed.
Yeah.
Very likely. Just because of how tight this race is and all these teams play each other. So you're going to have, 2 or 3 of these teams that are going to be under 500.
Yeah.
And so those will probably be the 9th and 10th seeds. And then if you're the Lakers, if you could just get to 500. Now, if you could get 4 or 5 games over 500, then I really think you're the 6th seed. And now you're playing the Kings in the first round. So again, you got to just take it a game at a time. But, we got the Grizzlies. I think we can beat the Grizzlies. No Ja Morant. Then you got, the Raptors. I think we can beat the Raptors. They've been playing good basketball as of late. Jakob Poeltl's really helped them a lot, but I do think that that's a matchup we can win. The Knicks have been the hottest team in the league, but we have been the streak killers. Yeah. We stopped, Memphis was on an 11-game win streak. Nope, not today. The Warriors, we beat the Warriors. After we beat them, they go on a 5-game winning streak. Steph comes back. That's the game that they feel that they should win. And what do? We end up winning that game after I heard everyone and their mother tell us that there was no chance. and now look.
I don't even want to be a doubter, but I was a little shocked, just a little bit. Like
I don't mind people being like, this is going to be a tough matchup, but I literally had comments of people that were like, "There's no way, it's never going to happen." Steph Curry's back.
I was more so like, okay, well, we get to see like where we fare. Like we don't have like we don't like. I was just kind of thinking in my mind like, okay, we're out LeBron. Let's see what we can actually do. You know what I mean? Yeah. With a full Golden State roster?
Yeah, just about. They didn't have Andrew Wiggins, but
yeah.
Yeah, outside of that. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, look, we got the win. That was
I mean,
huge.
Steph is coming back from injury too, but still, nevertheless.
I mean, Steph had a really good game, and he got hot in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Warriors usually win those games where Steph just goes off for 12 points in like 3 minutes or whatever it was. Like
we're too big for the Warriors. We know one thing for sure.
We got better size.
See, and
better
that's the thing. We can outsize teams now that I love. Like that's for example, like with the Warriors, we understand everybody. I think all the teams know in the league, all the head coaches know that the Warriors are going to struggle with size. If you're playing a team of size, they're going to struggle. Now they have improved their height from like last year to this year a little bit, but still, a team like our size, they're really not going to be able to like. There's some answers that they just don't have. You know what I mean? Like, who are you really going to put on AD? Like from the
they don't have anyone.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So it's just like.
And Anthony Davis has just been a monster, and that's what we need him to. But also just everything. Like we're a top defense. I believe we're number 2 or 3 now in total defense, right? Which is really good. So basically,
which is crazy because it's actually improved since Russ actually.
Well, yeah, our defense has gotten better since the trade. I'm talking about since the trade deadline.
Okay, got you.
So since we got the new roster. We've been fluctuating between number 1 and number 2 and 3. So basically, we're a top 5 defense, and we're a top 5 offense, and that's without LeBron James, and that's with a game without AD. We didn't have Anthony Davis, and we put up 120 points against the number 1 or number 11 ranked defense.
Yeah,
like we without LeBron and without AD and D'Lo, right? D'Lo's only going to help our offense. Guys are going to step up. Like, D'Lo is going to change a lot of this Lakers team.
I'm telling you, he's the catalyst. Like, he is the catalyst. Do I think that we could make a deep playoff run with just LeBron and AD? Absolutely. But D'Lo, I feel like, is that third piece that kind of puts us over the edge. And not that he makes us, like, OP or anything, but he's just another, like, guaranteed bucket. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just when you add a guaranteed bucket to 2 Hall of Famers that you're playing with on the same court, future Hall of Famers that you're playing with on the same court, it just, especially like those two, it's butter.
Well,
you know what I mean?
His playmaking is going to help tremendously. Because right now we're relying on Dennis Schroeder, who, Dennis Schroeder is solid, but he is best in that backup role.
Yeah.
Right. He's not the point guard you want playing 33 minutes. You want him coming in,
not for this team, though.
Maybe 15.
He could go somewhere and start, but not on this team. I don't think. Not with this roster.
It's just the decision making. So, like the Warriors game was a great example. His defense was great on Steph, great, but his decision making at times, he gets tunnel vision. Great example was he had a great defensive play after we were going on a run. Things were looking great. It looked like we could put this away. We get the defensive stop. He gets the steal and runs down the court. You have like Austin Reeves open. Anthony Davis is like rolling to the basket. And instead of making the proper play or read, or even just slowing it down, you're up. They were up 7, I think, at that point. Yeah. Instead of getting a bucket, setting up, killing clock, going and getting an easy bucket to ice the game, he takes some silly 3. They get the rebound and immediately go on a 6-0 run. And we're only up like 1 or 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, like, those kind of decisions are the things where D'Lo's not going to do that. D'Lo's he's gonna slow it down. He plays at a slower pace. He's not going to try to do too much. He understands, and just his vision is better overall than Schroeder. I'm not saying he's some like godly point guard or anything like that, but his decision making and just his ability to shoot and score is just much better, right? Yeah. Like they were letting Dennis Schroeder shoot the 3. They're not going to do that to D'Lo. Like, literally, there were sequences where Dennis Schroeder was wide open at the 3, and nobody even tried to contest.
It's because he's not a respected shooter. Nobody's scared of Dennis Schroeder shooting. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's an average 3-point. He shoots like 34-35%. So he's an average.
But even though Russ was shooting better, it's kind of like a Russ. It's like, he may or may not. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, speaking of Russ, I don't mean to sidebar for a quick second. My goodness, do you see what they're doing to him on the Clippers? Like, they are leaving this man wide open. Like,
yeah, oh yeah,
like defenses do not respect his shooting at all. It is just man.
Well, because also with the Clippers, not to get too much in the Clippers, but also the Clippers have more shooting, and like they have like the floor spacing. So like with the Lakers, you could afford, because at the time when Russ was there, Lakers didn't have anyone that could shoot. So you could guard up on Russell Westbrook, and you didn't have to worry about anyone else. The Clippers is different. So they're just like, if Russ makes 8 3-pointers, he makes 8 3-pointers. Let him shoot the 3, clog the paint, guard all the guys that can actually shoot. So it's just different defensive sets. But in general, I mean, D'Lo, we could transition and dive into D'Lo here. Is so D'Lo, we got news right before we ended up doing this live stream that D'Lo has been upgraded to questionable, which is good. If D'Lo can come back against the Grizzlies, I think that'll be huge for us. I think even without D'Lo, I think we could still win that matchup, but D'Lo would help a lot. D'Lo's probably going to be a little rusty, so people need to understand that. Like, he's probably not going to have the perfect game. Maybe he does, but he just missed 2 weeks, so he's probably going to take a game or two to get under his legs. I would like the Grizzlies game because I do think that that's a game we could win, even if D'Lo isn't great. I think his playmaking and his ability is just going to help tremendously, and then hopefully by the Raptors, by the Knicks game, he's kind of got his feel back in, and we're off to the races. But again, like D'Lo's ability to score at all three levels, D'Lo's ability to play make and just feed the open man.
Yeah.
Malik Beasley is going to tremendously upgrade from that, because right now Beasley has to go get his shot because he doesn't have anybody that can create a shot, and he has somebody glued to him the entire game. Like the Warriors basically were playing 4-on-4 the entire game. They just had somebody glued to Beasley and following him around everywhere he went, but he has to work twice as hard to go get a shot because he doesn't have a guy that can create and just generate an open look for him. D'Lo's going to help there. D'Lo's going to help with Troy Brown, who has stepped up and played great lately, right? He's going to help with Anthony Davis and make Anthony Davis' job easier, but also just to get a guy that can consistently, night in and night out, go get you 15, 20. If you need him to get you 30, he can go get you 30. That is something we just don't have, that consistent scorer on a nightly basis. Reeves is probably the closest we have. He's been pretty solid, but we saw he had a rough game and we lost, right?
Yeah, no, and I wouldn't even put Reeves on. I understand what you're saying. He's the closest, but it's still a good gap. Like, you know what I mean? Between the scoring ability, I just think it's still a good gap. Like, Reeves is dependable up to a certain point, but I just feel like D'Lo's like he's always dependable.
Well, it's a second year too.
No, I'm not. No, don't get me wrong. That's my guy. but no, I just think that like between him and D'Lo, and I would agree, like D'Lo is there to score the basketball, and obviously yes, for his playmaking too. But I don't think we would have signed him just for a playmaker, spread the floor. Like, he's there to score the basketball, and I just he adds that to your team. And when he gets hot, it's even more dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think he has the same like chemistry as like Rusted with AD, but I think that will come. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's still
he's
the early
looked pretty
stages.
good though.
No, it has
4 games,
especially on the pick and roll.
But him and AD had
especially on the pick and roll.
LeBron
like
too.
They have their own little style, which I love. But I just, like I said, it will come. The thing is, like, too, like they just started playing together, so like it's gonna come. You know what I mean? Obviously, him and LeBron have some chemistry, but like it's gonna come eventually, and that's why I think even next year is gonna be even more important because we're gonna have, like you said, we're gonna have a full season, and everybody's gonna start from ground zero. So it's like I'm very interested to see what we can actually do, especially with him. Like him as our primary decision maker, him / LeBron, because like I said, LeBron's still gonna play point guard. But I honestly think with D'Lo, you can step aside and just let him be the decision maker. You know what I mean? I get LeBron's LeBron, but like, do you agree with me? Would you say when it comes to D'Lo, you can just let him be your sole like playmaker? Just, obviously not sole playmaker.
You could absolutely let him.
If you're LeBron, you don't need to step. You really don't need to step over his role. You know what I mean? Like
but that was the thing
because LeBron does that a lot because he felt like he cannot trust.
Well, LeBron didn't though, which was nice. Like when LeBron came back from the previous game or two that he missed, he just plugged in. Like he let D'Lo run.
No. Now with this roster, he's doing a great job. But I'm just saying, like in the past, that's what he's done.
Oh no, absolutely.
Sometimes it's really good for us, and sometimes we won't win games without it. But then sometimes it kind of hurts us. But with this roster, there is no need for it. LeBron can be LeBron and just play his role. You know what I mean?
Yeah, play his game. Like D'Lo's just going to unlock a lot in general. Obviously, we have to do in 25 games what teams have had an entire season to do.
Exactly.
And that's build chemistry. That's build, relationships. That's building,
And some of these teams have been
camaraderie.
together for a few years. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, all the top teams have,
well, yeah,
right? I mean, they have like
exactly.
a couple pieces that are
Denver,
new, but for the
Celtics,
most part,
Milwaukee. Yeah, like
yeah,
their core has remained the same.
yeah, exactly. So that's a big difference too. And so far, we've been able to kind of expedite and make it work. Luckily, and this is what I talked about before the trade happened. It's easier to integrate role guys than it is another star. Like
Yeah.
if we would have went and got Kyrie, it would have been a lot awkward. I mean, great
Or like a
example is
DeRozan. That would have been like, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, look at Denver or look at Dallas for example.
Yeah.
They've been terrible, and
It's
Luka
weird.
and
It's
Kyrie have
clunky.
yeah they've looked clunky at times because it's so much harder to get a superstar integrated when they've played a specific way their whole career or in various destinations to then come in and have to play a different role and kind of make it work with other stars. It just becomes very difficult. Where role guys like Beasley, you like we got Beasley. It's like, what were you doing? I was shooting 11 threes a game. Okay, just do that here. Every
Yeah.
time we touch the ball, shoot the ball. Right? Like
Right?
Vanderbilt. What were you doing? Oh, I was guarding the best player on the other team and
Grabbing
just making
rebounds.
hustle plays.
Right?
Do that. That's what we need to do. Are you going to guard the best player? Like all of
Baby
their
Dennis
roles,
Rodman.
yeah, all of their roles are exactly the same every destination they've been.
Yeah.
And so they're just coming in and they're just plugging in and doing what they need to do. And so that it just makes things so much easier in that regard. And D'Lo,
Aren't you
but
proud
D'Lo,
they didn't star chase from once? Aren't you proud of the Lakers
I
organization?
am very proud. I mean, this was a huge turnaround roster wise.
It was such a slick, so slick.
Rob Pelinka deserves his flowers, no doubt.
Oh yeah,
No doubt.
absolutely.
Dude has been absolutely great. But in general, like we need guys to continue to step up. Troy Brown has been absolutely great these last stretch of games. Hopefully he can keep doing that. Vanderbilt needs to just keep doing what he's doing. Beasley needs to keep knocking it down. I think D'Lo is going to make things so much easier for him in his ability to play. Not just that, but Dennis Schroeder is going to be so much more effective because now instead of him being in a starting role, his 10 points, or whatever a game he gives us is now going to be coming from the bench unit. So
yeah,
now if Schroeder has 15 points one game, that 15 points is much more impactful because he's the sixth man now instead of the second. He's going from the second guy to the sixth guy. So that just that pecking order, it'll balance everything up so much better. You know what I mean? And that I think will help. But D'Lo, I think is going to change this roster and this team tremendously. I really do. But
he does take a load off of everybody, though. Really, he does. Like you said, even Schroeder benefits because he can just come off the bench, like you said, score his 15. But not only is an additional 15, he can just come off the bench and cook. Really, you know what I mean? He doesn't have to have the pressure of making like the decisions for the whole team because he's a starting point guard. So just at that point, honestly, he can just come off the bench and be Schroeder. You know what I mean? Well, everybody can just be themselves and be comfortable in the role that they're in, which is a spot that we're in right now. I mean, once we get guys back and everything like that, but that's where you want to be. I feel like you don't want to be in a spot where like we were before when everybody is stepping up to a role that they're not supposed to be playing. You know what I mean? With the exception of like Austin Reeves. Like I think he deserves that spot. You know what I mean? I mean, roughly, but
not as like as that shooting guard. Problem is like him being the secondary playmaker. I do think he can eventually reach that point.
Yeah.
But right now, I just think it's too much to ask. You've seen him struggle throughout these games at times, especially with hard ball
do you think
pressure.
It's because of the injury, or do you think it's because he's just not there yet?
I just think he's just not
because
there
before
yet.
The injury, like, well, yeah, but before the injury, like, it was the production value that we were getting out of Austin Reeves was, I mean, it was fair, it was fairly good. He was starting to like really like solidify that role. But then after the injury, I just feel like we've seen a decline. You know what I mean? It just
but I mean,
and he also has to adjust to everybody else on the team. He was used to the old roster as well. So
he's been consistent outside of like it's just again it's that playmaking. Like he can handle the playmaking in spots,
in transitions, right? Like fast break basketball. Yes.
In spot, like if you wanted to give him 10 minutes a game or whatever to operate and do that, but him playing 20, 30 minutes as like your primary ball handler and playmaker, he's just not there yet. I think he can get there. I just think as of right now, he's not there, at least for the team that we need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if we were in a position, if we were like locked into the 4th seed right now, we were 5 or 6 games away from like the 5th seed, then sure, experiment with him a little bit. Let it go. Because if you have a couple bad moments or you lose a game because, he makes a mistake or something like that, it's not the end of the world. But we're just not in that position. We're not in a position to where we can kind of experiment with stuff.
Yeah.
Right? We're in a position where every game is life or death, and we have to win every single one of them from here on out. That just makes everything so much more complicated. Right? Because like some teams, you'll see, a team like Milwaukee, they'll experiment with some stuff. They'll try some stuff. Oh, I wonder if this works. I wonder.
Well, they can do that. Celtics can do that. Denver can, you know what I mean? Like they can all do that. That's fine. But like I agree, we don't have the luxury.
We're not in a position to do that.
And he is to what you're saying is he is better in the fast break, like in a fast break transition. He's better playmaking with that. But when you're talking about in general, slowing the offense down, setting up the offense, creating plays, it's a little rough. He plays really, really good in transition. But other than that, I mean, I would agree. He's not like, don't get me wrong. He needs to work on his handles. He needs to work on just overall just some mistakes. But it's just, I don't know. It's been interesting. I definitely feel like we need to kind of build with him. I don't want to see him I want to see him be a part of our roster for the next few years. But I don't know. We'll see.
We will. But all right. Let's. One last thing I wanted to talk about. And then we can dive, and then we'll dive into the chat and all that stuff. In general, real quick before we dive into the next segment, hit that subscribe button. We got 104 of you in the live stream. Be really great if you guys would take a quick second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It'd mean a ton to us. If you're getting some value out of this live stream and you're enjoying our conversation, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to climb back up. But so Mo Bamba, he's very likely he's I believe is supposed to be out next game. And who knows how long. He sprained his ankle. He's probably going to be out. Yes, we have Winning Gabriel, but lack of size is a problem with Winning. So that's a bit of a concern. Do you think we should
lack of size and skill for sure?
Yeah,
but go ahead.
Do you think we should look at, and this can be brief, we could just kind of touch on this real quick, like the buyout market, right? Do we look to go get maybe like a center, DeMarcus Cousins, Hassan Whiteside, something like that? There are talks about the Lakers working out Kemba Walker. If D'Lo's coming back, then that makes less sense. I didn't mind the idea of Kemba Walker. If D'Lo was going to miss another week or so, then it's bring Walker in for a 10-day, let him kind of run that second unit and kind of play that route. I didn't mind that. But now, if we're getting D'Lo back, Kemba Walker doesn't make a lot of sense. But do you like the idea of maybe bringing in again DeMarcus Cousins and Hassan Whiteside? To kind of fill in that Mo Bamba role, maybe even keep him long term beyond this year. What are your thoughts?
That's tough, but yes, I do like Cousins, and I do like Whiteside because you need to keep with the height, and you need to be able to kind of, I guess, offset. Because if you're not going Rui, you're not going AD. I mean, I do think that. But I don't understand why work out Kemba Walker, because I just, you know what I mean? Because if D'Lo's going to come back this season anyway, what do we really need Kemba Walker for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but we don't know when D'Lo's going to come back. If D'Lo's going to sit, I mean, he's already got upgraded to questionable, so the chances that he's going to sit up for the rest of the season is not likely. But I could see if he was going to sit out for the rest of the season. Okay, yeah, bring Walker in. Then you have Walker start, then you have Schroeder come off the bench, and pretty much you just do a swap there. But I think we're okay. Now, I feel like if we bring Walker in, it's more so just like, hey, we're trying to win this year. We need to do everything we can. You know what I mean? Just because when he comes back, what does your rotation look like at that point? You know what I mean? Do you go back to playing small? I feel like. Right. So I'm like, no. So
well, that's what I'm saying. It'd probably be a 10-day. It'd probably just be like, hey, we're gonna bring you in just until D'Lo gets back, which is why I don't think he's gonna come back. But like, what are your thoughts on like a center? Like, what about like DeMarcus Cousins? Because even if Mo comes back, you could still use like a DeMarcus Cousins or Hassan
Yeah.
Whiteside. Mo Bamba's ability to stretch the floor, you could play them. You could probably test some stuff with him at like the 4 or whatever. Play him in AD. Like what are your thoughts on this? Would you want a center in, or do you think like no, just leave the team as is? Just go in.
No, I would want another center, but Whiteside over Cousins, and I was opposite. I was swapped, but I don't because DeMarcus Cousins is just not what he was, and I don't think he's gonna get back there. And I hate to even put that on like a player. Like I hate to do that to the because these guys are freaking awesome, but I don't. We just haven't seen it, and I don't think he's gonna get back. Like I said, too injury prone at this point. I just what I mean. We're not gonna really get what we need from him. But I would like to see Whiteside. I really would, and I do think adding another center would be more beneficial than not. So
Yeah. All right. No problem. And all right, let's get into the chat for the last like 15 minutes, and then we'll skate on out of here. Again, real quick, take a quick second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We'd greatly appreciate it. So yeah, take a second, hit that subscribe button. All right, diving into it. Laker fan for life. No Laker bias here, but game on the line, and you need a jumper to win. Who you going with, AD or Giannis? I'm going with AD, no doubt. AD.
no,
I mean, Giannis. If you're talking about a jumper, then if you just
wait, what are
need,
we
like,
talking? We're talking about a 3. We're talking about a mid range because to be honest,
I mean, regardless, whether it's a 3 or a mid range, I'm taking AD. Now, if it was like, hey, we just need a bucket, then I'm taking Giannis.
See that's the thing though. Like if we just need a bucket, I'm going AD. But if we need a jumper, I think I'm still going AD all the way. And this is no Laker bias. I just think that no. I feel like Giannis is gonna get
Giannis.
fouled and he's gonna go to the line, but then I feel like AD is gonna convert and maybe get the and one. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I just think like if it's just like if you had to get a jumper, like life on the line, you had to get a jumper. I would just I would go AD. That mid range, even him shooting a 3, I trust it more. But like if you're talking about like just get a bucket,
Going back to New Orleans
you
days.
give the ball to Giannis, you let him put his head down. Like that's about as gimme of a bucket as there is.
When he gets that long stride to the rim, when he's like, like when he gets that like when he it's scary. It really is. It's not like Shaq scary, but it's scary.
Tyler and Jake, if AD is a free agent and some team is offering him $200 million 4 years, could you see the Lakers paying him around $230? Because we know AD is getting that bag. I do. I definitely think I think they'll probably keep AD if he can continue to improve and show himself. I mean, this Lakers team that we have now, very likely we're going to have probably 2 or 3 years after LeBron. I don't see them just letting AD go. I think either A, they pay him, or B, after LeBron leaves, they try to work something out to trade him. That's my guess.
Well, yeah, because honestly, why would you just like let him go? Because you really need him. Who else are you gonna get? Like who's gonna fill AD's shoes while you still have AD around? You know what I mean?
Yeah. The Knicks could offer whatever. Nobody can pay him more than we can, so he's not going to go anywhere unless he just really wants to leave the Lakers. Which I don't know why. I don't know why he'd want to do that. If there's any way Clippers go home in the first round, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean the Clippers. I mean, just history tells you that they're going to lose in the first or second round.
They won't. Yeah, they won't make it past the second round for sure.
Yeah. 80 ain't coming back when LeBron leaves. I don't know. I think he still might.
Yeah, I don't know about that because
I don't know. I mean, we won't know for 2 years, but I could see him sticking around. He's going to Chicago. He has said in his career he wants to play in his hometown. I think so too. But he's still, even if he gets that new contract, he very likely, I mean, he could get a new contract or sign 2 years or whatever like that. We can pay him the most money. That or he signs the big contract, plays it for like a year or whatever, and then requests a trade. He rolled his ankle. Let Braun play on his scooter. Iams of his Clippers won last night up to PG absolutely bodied. Dude, that no call was insane. They wanted the Clippers to win that game. They were doing like the rest were doing everything they could to do that game. But to Minnesota or to Memphis, Memphis had that game won. All they had to do was just score more than like 12 points in the fourth quarter, and they would have won the game. They sold, like, without a doubt. D'Lo is questionable for tomorrow. 2 upgraded from doubtful. Grizzlies still got a good team with Ja, Clark, and Adams. We can't go in tomorrow thinking it's easy. Agreed. This is something that we absolutely have to continue going. Damn, Lakers fell back to 12th. If Pels lose, we move up to 11th. They move back to 12th. No worried about Portland. If you look at the schedule, schedule's brutal. Yes, their schedule is brutal, but also a couple things. One, Portland's just ahead of us right now because they've played more division games. Yeah. Tiebreakers really don't kick in until the end of the season. If the season ended today, then Lakers have fewer losses in division than Portland. So actually, Lakers would be the 10th seed. But Lakers still have to play the Clippers. They haven't played all their division games. They still have the Clippers. They still have the Suns, stuff like that. But for example, Portland lost. I believe they got swept by Denver this year. I think they've gotten swept or maybe 3-1 or something like that against the Thunder. So they've lost a lot of division games. They have more losses than us. So we're tied for 10th. But yeah, we're fine. Like I said, if it ended today, we actually would have it because we split the season series. I think the report doesn't weigh much. LeBron will come back when he's ready. Yeah, he's going to come back whenever it is, regardless of what it is. Yeah, he's going to come when he's ready to come. Let's see. We need another center and point guard. Well, if D'Lo comes back tomorrow, I think we'll be fine in that department. But I wouldn't mind another center. Like I said, a cousin, something like that. We got to hope one-man Dallas Flippers have a meltdown and go sub 500 from here on out. That would be beautiful. Beautiful. And there are a couple of teams the Clippers have a grueling schedule coming up. If they don't figure out a way to turn it around, Dallas and Minnie, their schedule is not that rough, but Dallas has struggled, especially without Kyrie and Luka both scoring 40.
Yeah.
So something else too. Is D'Lo playing tomorrow? No, definitive. He's been upgraded to questionable, but no, we'll find out more tomorrow. I like Jake. His takes are clear, unbiased, and calculated. See, look, you got fans.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It doesn't matter who we play as long as we are in the playoffs. Facts. I'm with you. Finishing 9th, 10th will be tough for us to get in. I think we beat Denver in 7. If we get there, though, AD will outplay Joker. No questions asked. I definitely think we have a chance. It's just so tough. It's just so grueling to win both of those games and then go into a playoff series. It's a lot to ask for. It's a lot. Yeah. Not that it's impossible, but the way I look at Denver is we have the best 2 players in that series, so we should honestly win that series no matter when we play it. Yeah, agreed. I would love to see the Lakers get in a 7 seed. Give me Memphis in the first round, and also allow Golden State, Clippers, Phoenix to beat up on each other. Agreed. I am with that. Excuse LeBron haters will come up with the Lakers win the finals. I'm curious to see that as well. Do not let the Lakers win. If the Lakers win the NBA championship this year, I'm telling you, you're going to see a different as it stands. You're going to see a different Tyler. I will be. Man, I'm telling you. I'm coming for everybody. I want to see Dallas Suns match up more. I think Mavs can upset them because Booker doesn't want the ball out against his daddy. Yeah, right. Playing against his daddy. Beast Benny says hi, Jake.
Hello.
You're too patient. I don't want to off the season. I don't want to either. But I mean, I'd rather that happens and we got this new squad for an entire season rather than LeBron comes out and now he gets hurt and he misses all of next year or most of next year, and now you're in a play-in again next year. I think if we miss the play-in tournament, I say run it back with the new team. Yeah, I think they run it back regardless. They didn't make these deals just to not do that. I would love to see Rui sign and trade for one more 3-point specialist like Buddy Hield in the offseason. I like Rui, but I still think we need one more shooter. I mean, I can see that, but the problem is then who do we replace with size? We need wing defense and size on the perimeter, which he has really helped with. And just his rebounding. He's been really good rebounding. I say we fight for a play-in now. I want that too. Don't worry. We can't sign everybody back right unless Genie goes deep in the pockets. I mean, we can. I mean, we have half the roster under contract next year. We got Mo Bamba, Beasley, basically everybody except for Austin Reeves, D'Lo, which they'll sign an extension with D'Lo in the offseason. Because right now, if they tried to sign him an extension this year, he can only do 2 years. they wait till the offseason, he can do 4 years.
Yeah.
So basically, right now they have everybody. I don't know why Genie wouldn't pay everybody when they're all already under contract except for like 3 guys. So I don't see that happening. My only worry is we get the 7th seed and see the Suns in the first round. I want Suns in the Western Conference when we are rolling. We're on a roll. I wouldn't mind that either.
That would be
I
a
don't know if
really
they're
good like Western Conference final matchup.
yeah. I don't know if the Suns catch that Tuesday. I mean, they could, but the player I would bring back is Reeves, Rui, Vando, Beasley, Troy Brown. Those are my top role players. Bring back D. LeBron 80. I already know. Yeah, I mean, well, they have pretty much. I mean, they have so Vanderbilt, Beasley are both under contract next year. Rui is a restricted free agent. Reeves they can sign with the non-bird. So Troy Brown is the only question, but I don't see him getting much more than like a vet minimum anyway. So I think they're fine regardless. I think it'll be all right. I don't see us really losing any of those guys. But real quick, Johnny coming in hot with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate that. Which free agent catches your eye for us this summer? I don't know who's going to be a free agent. We had half the guys that were free agents last season aren't this season, or were free agents next season aren't anymore. I mean, Kyrie's still an interesting scenario, but I don't know how you'd make that work. I mean, you could do a sign and
that
trade.
would suck because we would have to give up what we built, like the core of this team. We've got to give up for Kyrie. You know what I mean?
Theoretically, you could do a sign and trade. You could just swap D'Lo for Kyrie, but you probably would have to.
I wouldn't mind that.
You'd have to do some configuring. So you basically sign and trade, do a double sign and trade, swap D'Lo for Kyrie. So now you got Kyrie. Mo Bamba, you probably would have to because he has a non-guaranteed contract. You basically get rid of his contract, and then you could restructure his contract because you got to get under the threshold because you'd be hard capped. So you could theoretically keep everybody and get Kyrie. Like I said, just basically swap. But again, it'd just be tough. And I don't know if Kyrie will. I mean, we'll see. We'll see as we get closer to the offseason. Problem is, I don't like all the like guys that like. I still love the idea of Gary Trent Jr., but I don't see us being able to sign him. He's just going to cost too much. Outside of that, it's just
he's been balling lately too.
I mean, the only thing we have is taxpayer mid-level or biannual and then vet minimums.
Yeah.
So we don't have a lot of spending power this offseason. So that's the problem. It's who's out there and who's out there that we can actually sign. I just don't really see that, honestly. But great question. I do. Great question. Ask me again in like 2 months, and I'll probably have a better answer for you. But all right, moving on. Where were we? We were here we go. Why is the league so deep now? Jordan had to play against Clyde Drexler. I mean, it's just talent. You know, guys get better, guys improve over the years. It's just, I mean, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing at all. If we can win a championship this year, go for it. Absolutely. But again, being in the play-in, it's tough. You got to remember the Rockets are the only team in NBA history that have ever won as a 6 seed, right? Usually the teams that win the championship are the upper seeds, like that 1 through 4 range.
Yeah.
That's rough. That's what I'm saying. So it's a lot. It's a lot to ask for. I say in the summer, we go get some more wing defenders and more depth. I would love that, but not a ton out there. Not a ton out there. But the last thing LeBron wants to miss the playoffs, if there's any chance we can make it, he comes back. I think the last thing he wants is the playoffs, but I don't think people will really knock him for getting hurt.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't want them to throw away the season. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, like, I could see that ending up being the case. I think if the Knicks land AD in free agency, they can be dangerous because they would have a point guard plus Randall. I think if they land any major free agent, they could be dangerous. Like for real. They could be a very dangerous team. They're already really good. Imagine if they got like another not even like superstar, but just like a star level guy, I think would be tremendous. Johnny coming in house with another $2 super chat. Watanabe and Daniel House are my favorites. I wouldn't mind either of those. I think Watanabe is going to end up getting paid. He has like the best 3-point percentage this year. I wouldn't mind either of them, especially Watanabe. I think he would thrive next to LeBron, AD, and D'Lo as just like that dead eye shooter. Daniel House, I wouldn't mind either, but I think both of those are probably reasonable. I do. I think both of those are reasonable. I just think Watanabe that dude's probably gonna get paid. So not like insane. He's not gonna get like 20 million or something, but I think he gets more than what we can offer him. I could see him getting like 10 million because just his shooting ability. I think a lot of teams are gonna want that, especially it's just such a commodity in this league. But yeah, I feel that. Where are we? Let's not forget we have the second best defense since the deadline. If I'm not mistaken, the fifth best offense. Maybe it was seventh. We're sixth or seventh for the year, but we're actually, I believe, third or fourth in offense since the trade. So yeah, we're top 5 in offense, top 5 in defense, which is really good. Purple Rain, I love it. Let's go for another win tomorrow night. Let's go. I am with you 100%. D'Lo is going to make sure we get a bucket in the clutch. Yes, that is something else. That dude is Mr. Ice in his veins. Rui should step up. I agree. I know a lot of people have been on Rui. I wanted to make a video. I might make it tomorrow because I want to do a video about the D'Lo update.
Yeah.
Because I haven't talked about it. So I might actually make the Rui video tomorrow. But I wanted to make a video about Rui Hachimura because I've seen a lot of people talking about Rui. But the problem is like it's hard for anybody Rui has a very specific game, right? He is a mid-range assassin. But when you're not running plays for him, the guy's giving us 10 points per game on the season on just like scraps.
Yeah.
He's giving it to us on just like rebounds and putbacks or like aggressive power plays or whatever, right? Like we run no plays for the guy. We've relegated him to a spot-up 3-point shooter, and the guy is not a spot-up 3-point shooter. Like he's not that's not his strength.
No.
And we're basically putting him in a position where all of his weaknesses are essentially what we're trying to make him do. It's hard for anybody.
Yeah.
If you're not a good 3-point shooter, like Russ, like Russ isn't a good 3-point shooter, but when he's relegated to just being a 3-point shooter, it's hard for him to do much. That's something else. Like Rui's we're not putting Rui in a position for him to be successful. My hope is when D'Lo comes back, that'll be kind of adjusted. Like D'Lo will be able to get Rui. I want you to start watching closely to Rui when he's on the court. There was 3, and they only gave it to him once. There were 3 times that I can remember off the top of my head in the Warriors game alone.
Yeah.
Where Rui has position and they just look him off.
On a mismatch.
Yes, on a mismatch. They gave it to him one time when he was on an island with Steph Curry and Steph Curry fouled him. There was 2 other times that I can remember very vividly where he had the mismatch. One time I think was against Clay. The other time was I don't remember who the other person was, but it might have been DiVincenzo. But he literally was on an island, had post position, calling for the ball, and Schroeder just went the other way and then established Anthony Davis, so Rui had to pull himself out. It's hard to be effective when you're not capitalizing on his strengths. He's really good at very specific things. You got to put him in that position to succeed. My hope is that D'Lo won't look him off. Then when he gets established post position, you dump it down to him and let him go to work. Let him get in his position. So that's something else as well. But Raymond, thank you so much. Yes, if you haven't liked the video, like this video. Take a quick second. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a second, subscribe to the channel. We would greatly appreciate it. Seriously. Thank you so much. The year we won the chip, we had like the 13th rated offense and first defense. Now we have top 10 in both. Don't let us in. Exactly agreed. Rui should step up. He will. Like I said, he's not the point guard. Nothing's wrong with Rui. He just isn't just being put in position to have success. It's anybody in that position would not be that good. Let's see. How are we going to pay D'Lo next year if we can't even see him play this year. I mean, he's going to play most of the games. I mean, we didn't make this trade just for this year. We made this trade for foreseeable future. As far as I know, Mo is supposed to be out tomorrow, but we'll see. I mean, we haven't gotten like an official update. We need D'Lo back for Memphis. They got a great defense team. We need someone who won't turn it over under pressure. Agreed. I believe Mo is out. What's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. What else? I wish Pelinka signed AR to a longer deal. I mean, I do too, but you got to keep in mind. It's very likely AR didn't want that, because so AR could have gotten drafted. He chose not to get drafted so he could go to the Lakers. So he probably didn't want to sign a long-term deal because he would have gotten less money. Now look at him. Now he bet on himself. He said, I'm going to go to the Lakers, be in that big market. I'm going to play good, and I'm going to get a big contract. And that's exactly what ended up happening. So that's something else to keep in mind, too. Let's see. Troy Brown Jr. is out playing Rui. That man, Troy, played 41 minutes yesterday. That's crazy. He's been great. He's got the hot hand. Keep giving it to him. Chemistry is hella underrated yet.
Yes, it is.
That helps tremendously. It's so sickening. We only got one game with LeBron, D'Lo, and AD. Yeah, seriously, for real. To recognize that bad playoffs without LeBron and send him to HGH back so he could recover in a week. Yeah, facts. Go give him that the little chronic therapies and stuff. I still feel like the only mistake Pelinka made was choosing Hachimura over Reddish. I still don't think so. I like Hachimura over Reddish. I do. I think Hachimura is more of a sure thing. Again, the problem is you're not putting him in a position to succeed. And he's tighten the handle some to do that. Like I said, he's still young. What about Hachimura? He'll be fine. Tyler and Jake, we won the championship and hasn't been the same since. What is wrong and why? I mean, injuries for one. I mean, you can make a real argument. We should have won back to back, and AD got hurt, so that didn't help. Then LeBron said, "I want to start playing off the ball. Go get me a point guard," and we trade for Russell Westbrook. And then he signed and gave the green light to go get Russell Westbrook, and there you are. And then you got 2 years of that. But now we've righted the ship, and I think it'll be great. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. Chemistry trades. League's gotten tougher too. Like teams are stacked.
Absolutely. Hey guys, a question: if Pels lose tonight, do we move up? Technically for like standing order, I still think we're like the 11th seed. But again, like if the playoffs started today, we would actually be the 10th seed. I just think Rui's going to be a huge disappointment. I don't know. I mean, time will tell. I really don't think so. I just think, again, it's just the position that he's put in. Hachimura has all the physical tools, but he is lacking something. He's lacking the setup. Again, he's not the point guard. It's very simple. The type of player he is very, very simple. Very simple. Problem is that when you're not putting him in those spots, I don't care who you are. Like, he's not a superstar. Like Kevin Durant, he doesn't need setup. You give him the ball, he goes to work. But if Hachimura was Kevin Durant, we wouldn't have traded second round picks for him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's a guy that we know his game. We're just not putting him in a position to thrive playing his game. And the guy's still giving you 10 points per game. He's giving you 9.9 points per game. Like, that's good for a guy that's just kind of scoring on scraps.
Yeah.
That's really good. When he can score and get a lot of rebounds. I think Rui is getting in a bad spot. The coach is making him a spot-up shooter, and that's not his game. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Which, you got to figure that out. You got to operate him in a way, which I do think that he'll be better. Lonnie has all-star potential, but his IQ isn't there yet. Yeah, he definitely is a guy that I think could be great at some point. I really like the idea of him as an in-vacuum scorer. Comes in, plays 10 minutes a game, goes and gets you 10 points, and then sits until he starts developing that IQ, because he gets tunnel vision.
I think if he went to a struggling team, he could be a starter. He could start easily.
Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, he's without a doubt he's talented. At worst case scenario, he's a guy. He's a bucket. He can go get you a bucket. But that's the problem. He just gets too tunnel vision. And his decision making is just tough at times. If Kemba can give us 12-5 a game, I'm all for taking him on Dennis Schroeder minutes. Problem is that Kemba's injury history is a concern. Like, I do think he could give you 12-5, but how tall is Rui? Yeah, he's like 6'8", 6'9". I mean, technically it's a big man. It's not like a center big man, but he's he's a forward for sure. No team has even mentioned Whiteside's name. I think his ego blackballed him from the league for good. I think so too. I really do. Which is crazy because he has the talent. He really does. He has, like, if that guy would have just humbled himself, he probably would have had a long career. But he just thinks he's better than what he really is. We have enough bigs for the modern NBA. We good. Whiteside would be awesome, but sadly his ego makes him unattractive. Yeah, 80s bump. We're talking 80 bubble jumper. What is it? We're not gonna cut Devon Reed. Devon Reed's got another year on his contract, and not only that, it would cost us like $30 million to cut Devon, and then on top of that, go sign somebody else. There's no way they're gonna do that. They're not gonna pay $30 million just to go get like Hassan Whiteside or something like that. Max should play more. Nah, not right now. I love Max Christie, but we need to win games. Max Christie is solid, but he's a 19-year-old rookie. Like, share, and subscribe. That is right. Thank you so much, B Spendy. Take a quick second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We're gonna continue to power through these questions, and we're gonna skate out of here. We're actually over our usual time limit, but we appreciate you. So for us staying over, we want you to hit that subscribe button. That'd be great. Lakers need to sound Whiteside. I wouldn't mind Whiteside. Max can play more when he can drink and shoot. Yeah, right. I know he's still got a little ways. Little ways to go. Net stop playing. What I like to drive down his value to resign. Possibly. That very well could be the case. I mean, they just have like so many 3-and-D wings now. The Nets are going to be set up for the foreseeable future. They'll be really good for the foreseeable future. Yes, that's why I think Lakers have a reasonable shot to re-signing them. That very well could be the case. Daniel House, no one knew about just Winslow, Phil Arwin on slot. Plus, they are cheap. They get defense, 3-point shooting. I wouldn't mind bringing back Stanley Johnson because we can bring Stanley Johnson back next season. Yeah. That would be nice. What's going on, Marcus? Salute. Appreciate you being here. LeBron takes so long before coming back. I mean, yeah, he out 3 weeks. He got a serious injury. With the cap going up, and Woj said that the CBA is about to make the luxury tax less taxing, we might be able to spend more than we think. It's very possible. I don't really want to go heavily because that'd be like another 30-minute conversation. I'll have to talk about the CBA because what they're talking about doing, it helps, but it doesn't. It helps with like teams like the Clippers and the Warriors. Yeah, it would help, but like the Lakers, it may or may not. But I know that's like super vague, and people probably like, what are you talking about? I just don't want to spend another 30. We can't spend another 30 minutes doing that. I'm trying to get through these questions real quick. We are better when we play team ball and swing the ball around. That's what includes it. Yeah, agreed. Including when we have. Yes. Braun is 38. What do you mean? Yeah. Maybe LeBron play if we reach the play-in or playoffs after 3 weeks evaluation. I mean, he should be back for that. Well, D'Lo might be back tomorrow, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Hopefully.
The Hachi hate is strong. Haters gonna hate. Yeah, I don't.
Is he the new? Is he the new? I think he's the new.
No, it's not that. It's not at that extreme. They're like all the comments that I've gotten haven't been that like, oh, Rui. It's just people are just disappointed that he's not giving us 30 a game, and it's like, how is he supposed to do that when he's only taking 5 attempts per game, and not only is he only taking like 4 or 5 attempts per game, but like he's 3 of them are spot up threes. He's not a 3-point shooter. Like, he can hit them from time to time, but he's not a spot-up shooter. I didn't know the Lakers were top 10 in both offense and defense. That's crazy. Yeah, they are. They're top 5, actually, right now. For the season, they've actually been 6th and 7th all year in offense. But, yeah, since the trade, they're top 5 in offense, top 5 in defense. They're like 2nd and 3rd in defense and they're like, I believe, third in offense, something like that. I'd have to look it up again. Rui isn't going anywhere. He helps ticket sales here big time and is a good Samaritan and strong character man. There's only one ball. Yeah. And the guy's giving us 10 points a game as like the 12th option. Like, how much more do you need? Needs the physicality and aggressiveness. He is physical and aggressive. Let's see. Rui is more of a throwback player. Yeah, he's a mid-range guy. You got to set him up one game at a time. Let's get this dub tomorrow. We don't have to hear everyone panicking. Let them up. I agree. And then Johnny coming out with $2 super chat, and this is where we'll round it up. If Rui ends up like Kuzma, I'll be mad. Keep him, dude. They're not gonna get rid of Rui. Rui. I mean, worst case scenario, you re-sign Rui and then you work out a trade for him. Like, they're not gonna just let Rui go. He's a restricted free agent, so he's not going anywhere. They'll match whatever they have to match to keep him, because you're not just gonna just lose him for the sake of losing him, especially with a guy that has value. Again, they have to run sets and calls and plays for him. Unless they do that, you're just gonna get what you get. But he's also helped off defensively. He's been very good defensively, and on top of that, rebounding. He's been rebounding the ball really well. So I mean, again, he's a guy he's helped. He hasn't been scoring 20 points per game, but still, nonetheless, he's been doing really good. But other than that, again, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate all of you on this, joining us for this live stream. Again, if you haven't hit that like button for this live stream, take a second, hit that like button. It would mean a ton to us. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. It would mean a ton to us. Just take a quick second to do both of those. That would mean the world to us. Also, I just put in the chat right now. I got something in my eye, but I just put in the chat right now my own personal channel, As It Stands Lakers. I know most, if not all of you, are subscribed, but if there are some of you that aren't subscribed to my own personal channel, go subscribe to that channel. I just hit 10K subscribers like a week ago over there on that channel. That was awesome. Very thankful for all of you. It means a ton to me. And we're trying to grow here, so help us get closer to the 10K here on this channel. That would be amazing. But regardless, anything else? Any closing statements, Jake? Anything you want to say?
The uphill battle is ahead of us, but we got this, Lakers Nation.
I believe. I believe.
Hashtag I believe.
But we appreciate you.